The action is about to hot up, and of course Dom Barrett, the European team captain, still alongside me. Dom, up for a good one here, I look.
Yeah, two really strong teams, both feeling very comfortable and having a great tournament so far. I think they're just going in a little bit light, deciding to go with urethane, which is a ball that typically we would use on fresh oil. However, there's been 3 semi-finals without a redress right now. So he's got that one probably a little bit inside, leaving that 2-pin.
Yeah, that's the thing I was going to ask you, because the previous semi-final matches, obviously, because there's 3 sets here, of course, over the course of the evening, we've seen a re-oil happening on. So we've got the lanes bending in a little bit more, and you can see some of the patterns coming down, and the what they call striation lines, I'm guessing, through the lanes where the balls have gripped.
Exactly, yeah, so every time somebody bowls, you can see, actually, we're sat around 40 feet down the lane. We're getting towards the end of the pattern, we're probably about 37, and we can see with the reflection of the light towards the outside part of the lane, you see the tracks that we make. So we take oil off the front part of the lane, deposit towards the back part of the lane, and you can see how that develops there, right in front of our eyes. We can indeed. So last night we've seen some great performances from the Korean team, and this young man was no exception. Let's see if he can continue on that rich vein of form that we saw him with last night in the trios. He certainly can. He certainly can. He was almost unstoppable last night, and of course, we saw his action. We saw a lot of this left-hand draw into those centre pins. He's a great bowler, this young boy, isn't he? Great bowler indeed. Ji Geun, I think his name is, if I remember rightly from last night. Ji's a fantastic young bowler. I haven't seen him bowl in person before. He's been very polite, as all the Koreans are. Yes,
their culture towards other cultures, I believe. And fantastic young bowler. Even today, he went down to see some of the finals of the team event to get to this point. Stone cold killer. He got up in the 10th frame to shut out.
He might be young and he might be fairly inexperienced, but he certainly's got that kind of killer look as far as bowling is concerned. Anyway, Team Malaysia doing what they need to do. Here we go. You can see where this, the Koreans and Singapore teams have come into fruition. The cell phones with the messages come up. The mobile phones will be coming up with various messages of love and support and everything else that I can't read that'll be played out on the supporters stands tonight. Back to Korea though. This gentleman last night as well was performing out of his skin. Really great performance. And again, keeping up that fabulous, rich vein of form. So coming up next after this one, when we find out who's going to be in the finals joining Singapore, we have the mixed team event. Dom, tell us a little bit about the mixed team event, how that works out and what we're likely to see in that event.
Yeah, slightly different dynamic. We're going to have the male or female bowler, whoever bowls that first frame will continue to bowl the 5th, 9th and 10th. So it really is a key bowling position, whoever starts those games. But yeah, it's very unique that we haven't really had an event like that before, where we get to mix the teams. And Sweden are just riding that wave of a fantastic week with James Blomgren winning the singles, having 2 teams in those semi-finals against one another, guaranteed silver medal or better. Yeah, well, that is a guarantee. The Swedish team have, you won't be able to see them just yet, but we can see them in the background here, and they are just arriving ready for their mixed team event. Just behind them, actually, Manchester City. Yes, if you're a Premier League fan, the Manchester City Soccer Academy is happening as we speak. They are in the background behind the stands, and we have some of the stars and some of the major players within Manchester City, and they are here taking the youngsters of Dubai and the region and people around the world through their paces. There they are. That is the youth of tomorrow, arguably. That's the Manchester City Academy. They have had this place installed especially for them and AC Milan, and these could be some of the players of the future alongside the Premiership Kings of Manchester City. A very interesting start so far. So we've had 3 semi-finals, and the winning team has bowled on the right lane every time. Kind of going on from what happened last night, from what I've heard. Now Korea who have been one of the strongest teams ever in bowling when it comes to national championships or international champions like we're doing right now, have started off with 2 strikes, make that 3 strikes.
And they're on the left lane, yeah?
On the left lane.
I was going to come up with a bit of a word of wisdom there, but not only do I never have any word of wisdom, but also the fact is that I think these Korean boys are, you know, they were unlucky last night, but they lost out to a great performance last evening and, of course, worthy winners. But I think this could be their moment because I think, you know, we saw Singapore do a fabulous job in the last round, but the Singapore players there, I think they've got a victory in them tonight. I'm not going to say that, but that's just, well, I have just said it actually, but I'm not going to commit to that just yet.
So the Koreans stepping up right now, looking really strong. They've got Rafiq just bowled on that right lane, having leaving the 4-6 split. More than likely this will be an open frame. The Korean team, 4 bowlers, have 3 left-handers. Now that does change because if they're bowling on the other side of the lane, then that topography is going to be a little bit different. So even though there is something that keeps happening where the right-hand lane keeps winning, that's not going to affect only but one of their bowlers. But they have 3 lefties, so maybe they don't have any issues with that left lane.
So, okay, what is the major difference for anybody, again, who's a newbie to the world of international bowling? We saw trios last night where there were 4 people but 3 people playing. We've got teams tonight where 3 people are playing again. What's the fundamental difference?
Okay, well, just not to cut you off there, Lee, sorry,
Yeah, no,
it's going
please
to be a call on Kirk von Kruger here. That pin did bounce out.
Yes.
It hit the sweep. Now, in the rules of bowling, a pin can hit a mechanical part of the machinery, go on and hit another pin, and it'd be legal only if that part of that machine is stationary. Now, I can't tell if that was moving or not, so I don't know if that counts. That comes down to Kirk von Kruger. I think that's going to have to make a judgment call. Looks like if we're moving on this quickly, it looks like it's going to count as a spare.
Yeah, it looks like it. That's an interesting call. I mean, you spotted that. You spotted that, Dom. I think we might have a chance to have a quick look at that in a couple of moments. I wonder if even our officiating team spotted that moment. And obviously, you've got to know the rules to judge the rules. And of course, all of our team will do. We're going to have a quick look in a second to see at that last moment. Let's have a quick look because we're going to see through about what happened that Dom was talking about. So, Dom, there you go. There's the pin.
So it bounces off that back curtain. I mean, it's not for me to call. It looked like it wanted to be stationary.
That
and
looked like
is it rolling now?
Oh,
I didn't get to see. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a good thing we don't see and we let Kirk make his decision and we move on from it.
I think you are right. There was listen. There was definitely some movement there, and
to make this a little bit harder, this machine on the right-hand lane has not been running how we wanted it to all night. They're actually going to change the chassis after this game when the lane gets redressed. They have a little bit of time. Well, that's the bit of machinery that has a computer in it. So when the ball goes past the sensor down towards the back part of the lane, that's when the sweep comes down. The sweep is supposed to stay stationary for a period of time that can be adjustable on the cams or whatever else they have behind them on that machine. They haven't been able to do that, so I think Kirk is going to give them the benefit of the doubt because it's not that whoever's bowling that right lane, it's not their fault that the machine isn't running as like it to.
The officiators who are watching this, Dom, do they have the benefit of monitors and screens like we do, or are they just literally looking down the lane as the bowlers are, for instance, from behind the bowler's arm?
I think that's what we should get. We should give Hawkeye a call and see if they're busy and get them over here.
That's the way of modern sport these days, isn't it? So, looking like Korea forging ahead. Malaysia, of course, we are seeing still in with a fight. The Malaysian Tiger supporters are up in the stands. So, when you said about changing the chassis for the pin setter, is that time-wise, are we talking about a long time to do something like that, or is that going to naturally happen during the game? Hang on, just before you come to that, Dom, have a quick look at the scores for me. Tell me what you're seeing.
So in the truck, they called it 1, so they didn't give him the spare. So if that comes all the way from Kirk, then I think that probably would be the right call because it was moving. I think it's very harsh on Malaysia, but the way that the Koreans have come out here, it's not going to make any difference anyway.
So you think that's the correct score? Kirk has called that then, yes?
We didn't get to see the pin hit the way through. It was hard to see if that sweep was moving when the pin made contact. I don't know. Still don't know.
I think, and we're just getting some adjudications from some of our team, I think the sweep was definitely moving, so Kirk called it with his eagle-eyed vision from his position of authority, and that's why he is what he is.
And he's the best in the business. He's the best tournament director that I've ever been a part of over
Yep.
the amount of years and different tournaments I've bowled. It's so clear-cut. He knows the rules inside and out, and he's not scared to make that decision. And we all move on. And I think that is the right decision. I think it's a little bit unfair, a little bit unfortunate. Not unfair. It's a little bit unfortunate towards the Malaysians being
Listen,
on this lane
I
with that
think
timing.
it's all about sport, isn't it? Sport, you know, if everything just goes mundane from left to right to left to right, it can be a bit boring. We like it, not controversy, but we like a little bit of a talking point to talk over. Otherwise, you and I would just be talking about strike after strike after strike otherwise.
And the way it's going right now, going into the 5th frame, or into the 6th frame for the Koreans, with another strike, they're going to be about 60 pins ahead anyway.
This is
Haven't
looking
missed it.
like Korea are making up for last night and making their way through the teams' finals. We'll come back to the question I asked you a few questions ago, just before we had the pin setter issue. But Korea might look at that. Looks like he could get a new job as one of the boy bands of Korea in K-pop with that hairstyle. So yeah, we got this couple of moments just as Singapore, of course, moving through to the finals that they have.
You caught me with that one. That was good. And we can start singing a bit of Psy as well.
No, I wasn't going to. I was definitely not going to start doing any singing. That's official. Otherwise, all of our viewing numbers, all three of the people listening to my. No, I'm joking. All the people listening tonight, of course, will be turning off. Look at that shot.
This really is
Great
now
shot.
about Korea. Yeah, after that shot there is a little bit out the window, as you say, because he missed the right-hander missed right, and it's just sailed on. I think, you know, a couple of things haven't gone Malaysia's way here, where they've got to be wanting to throw urethane, but it's going to be last match on. Maybe that was a tactical error by Team Malaysia, not trying to throw more reactive balls from further in, especially after we've had some really good scores on this lane from the ladies Malaysian team bowling 279, the hard-fought win from Team USA girls with 203, Singapore bowled 247 on this lane, so clearly the lane's okay, he's playing quite well. Just a bit of a struggle here for Team Malaysia.
Yeah. Just in case, we've seen, and you probably saw on that long shot there, where manually the pins were set, because there's that little issue with the pin setter. Are there any marks on the actual surface where the pins, I mean, is there a little X where the manual pin setting can be done? Is that the case?
Absolutely, yeah. So everything used to be in bowling, if you go back to the 60s, it was manually put up. That's what they used to do, they're pin boys, and I think that's what they were called back in the 60s, 70s. So we'd have, wouldn't be any machinery at all. You would, even before then, I think the first mechanical part of machinery, and I'm sure I'm wrong with this, but I think it was 60s. But before then it was pin spotting, and going back to when bowling was invented 100 odd years ago, and that's what it was. Now they have machinery, but yeah, we have dots on the pin deck. We have 10 dots. It goes exactly where the pin goes, and that's measured out away from the other pins, just at the right distance.
Dom, I've got a question for you. This is something that I really would like to know the answer to. We've had some questions in on social media as well. What we're looking at tonight with Korea, have we ever seen a perfect 300 score outdoors before? In the recollection of the game of 10-pin bowling, AJ's with us still from his victory from last night. He's still got his medal on. He's been cuddling it all night. Matt's in the background. Has there ever been a perfect 300 outdoors? We've got 4 geniuses, well, 3 geniuses working on it.
AJ says he's done it. He has one in his back garden, he sets them up. AJ's bowled 300 outside.
AJ winning outside in his own garden doesn't count.
But no, I don't think there can't have been. You know, the only ones I can think of was the PBA did some summer series events back 10 to 15 years ago at Six Flags. I think they were in Dallas.
Okay.
But I don't know much for bowling outside.
Matt Canizara, the man with the computer with 55 screens and windows open at the moment. He, if anybody's going to know, with the brains power that we have between these 3 geniuses, somebody's going to know. But I tell you what, could we be seeing it? Now we've made all of that foundation for what is about to happen. Please don't let us down. Let's have a look.
That's exactly what this is about now. The match is over. Malaysia have lost. If we can add all of that up, and that's not going to happen now. And the front 8 being outside and being a team who, yeah, really were beaten up a little bit last night in the trios, coming back and, you know, showing exactly their intent in the semi-final.
Well, of course, you know, it was a great final, the roll-off there, and you know, under great pressure the man who's sitting not too far away from us, AJ, last night performed a fabulous set of bowling deliveries to win the USA team gold last night in the trios. We'll have a chat with AJ a little bit later on and see if he managed to keep his gold medal under his pillow last night, or did he have it on the bedside cabinet, or... Oh, he's only got it in his pocket with him right now, AJ. Whoa! Okay, we could be, ladies and gentlemen, on the verge of making world history outdoors in bowling. We are on the verge of seeing a perfect 300 scored by the Korean team. We are believing, that, and we're just going to verify these facts as much as we can, that this has never been done before. So we're going to check on those facts, and we're going to have a look. But they have one more ball to go.
3 more, that's one more
three
frame.
more, yes,
That's okay.
sorry, in that frame to get that score.
Front 9, fantastic, and that little slightly different format change when you have Ji Geun going and bowling those 4 frames could really be a big moment going into this 300. He's going to feel comfortable, he's throwing 3 really good strikes, the other guys can sit down and relax and enjoy themselves and get ready to celebrate.
Get ready to celebrate, but no pressure. Because I'm sure they must be aware, looking at the scores and knowing the scores, where they are currently, of course, and what they could achieve. I mean, obviously it doesn't get them a winner's medal, but it gets them, well, a place in the record books, we think. It's the first time outdoors, history could be made.
Look, anytime you get to bowl 300, it's huge. Getting to bowl 300 is a part of your national team in the World Championships.
Look at that, his team. They're about to bowl a perfect 300. He's playing statues. Oh dear, how chilled out and relaxed. Look at this, Team Korea having some fun. Guys, do you know you're about to possibly go into the record books? They're just having some fun.
And that's what it's about, you know, pressure's off really. They're bowling for themselves, they're bowling 300, they're into the final, and they have this young man.
Okay, let's see it. Let's have a look. Let's give it a bit of silence and see what we're going to see here. Oh my goodness me, that is amazing, absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are watching this cast around the world, wherever you're listening to it around the world, we are on the verge of making world bowling history. The IBF World Championships here in Dubai 2021 could be the place in the World Championships outdoors where we see this perfect score 300 take place.
You can really start to feel the tension now. Everybody's sort of on the edge of their seat, looking forward, hoping for Ji right now.
Let's have a look. That is precision. So Dom, we are 1 away from something that has never ever been seen in the history of the IBF World Championships, and in fact outdoor bowling in general. This is it. If this next ball delivers a strike, we are seeing a perfect 300. Here at the IBF World Championships, this will be the first time that an outdoor 300 has been scored. It's early here in Dubai, here we go. Oh! AJ Johnson is beside me and he can't believe it, but that was nearly the most perfect game of bowling that you could ever see. He looks disappointed, Ji.
Yeah, I think his teammates are giving him a little bit of banter there. What a great shot, that young man.
What do you think they just said to him? I can't believe you missed that, you're rubbish.
The only thing I would say is going into a final, that allows them to reset. That allows them to not really have too much pressure on, thinking they haven't missed yet. So
Well,
this might be a blessing in disguise.
ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at something that is still very, very special indeed. 299 Team Korea. They're through to the final. Malaysia 184. That was one heck of a game of bowling